Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Rod, if you're free, I have an extra ticket to the Warriors and Oil Kings game in Moose Jaw tonight, if you want to join me. I would love to, but I can't. To quote Sammy Seafood Sam, I'm busy.
How about that?
Where's Seafood Sam? Moved to Calgary. He's busy.
Yeah.
But thank you, Glenn.
Muna.
Big shots.
Sitting up there with the Russian national coach at the press conference.
Guy ran a seafood restaurant in Saskatoon, okay? His name was Seafood Sam. That was the name of the restaurant, and the Saskatoon Blades would bring him down to coach the All-Star or the intra-squad game, and he'd start brawls. And
I remember hearing the story about Daryl Lubanicki. They told the guys no more fights, and so all of a sudden there's a fight, and then they drop the puck, and then there's another fight. There's another.
He's coaching the intra-squad.
One kid had fought 3 times, so Daryl Lubanicki said, "I'm going to put an end to this." And he walks around the rink, and he comes over to the kid who's had 3 fights, and he says, "What in is going on around here?" And the kid says, "That Chinese guy keeps sending me out to beat out of that." So he had to go to this Seafood Sam, who was this little 5'2" Chinese fellow who owned their local restaurant.
Seafood Sam's.
And tell him to knock it off.
No more fights.
How about that? Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show. Good morning, Rod Squad.
Maybe tomorrow I'll tell you guys about the big game that I went to in San Antonio with Snoop Dogg. Remember that one, Clark? The Lakers and Spurs? Snoop Dogg and I went, Bob.
How about that?
Snoop Dogg was sitting courtside. I was up in the nosebleeds, but we were in the arena at the same time. I was there with him.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. Happy Friday, Football Friday, and am I ready for the weekend? We're live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. And let's not wait any longer. Bring in Darren Moose Dupont from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. I do want to say hey to my guy, Chris Sanford. He's watching right now in Boca Raton, Florida, and he's been watching all week long. I appreciate you, Chris. He's a good friend, as is Darren and Moose. I have to say before we go any further, Ryan O'Radio's checking in from WQEE in Atlanta. He says, time for the RP show, Football Friday on Atlanta's NHL show. I can't wait to see those T-shirts. Everybody seems to be in a good mood. They're all writing in. I can't read all their messages, Moose, but there's something that you do. You have a great bedside manner. You have a great touch about you. We saw, for the benefit watching on YouTube, those people, a clip from our show in November from Grey Cup, I believe. You seem to get this banner, this backdrop behind me working just tickety-boo, just perfect. And here at Grey Eagle, I just got to say, I came in here this morning a little early to try and fix this backdrop, and all my stuff was in disarray. It was all over the place. It was a literal Goldilocks situation of who's been sleeping in my bed. And then I realized, oh, yeah, they told me the guys from the Barn Burner podcast were going to be in here last night on the very stage that I do this show, doing a post-game show for the Flames. And I thought, it would be good. It would be good entertainment for me to come on the air here and just rip the hell out of the guys at Barn Burner, Moberg, Warner, and I'm like, oh yeah, Rod, that would be real smart. Pick another fight with somebody from Calgary as we settle in here at Calgary's entertainment destination. So, no, not their deal, mine. But Moose, is there a secret to getting this thing just looking just tickety-boo, as I say? Because I clearly don't have it. I clearly do not have it.
I don't know what the secret is, to be honest, but, sometimes that thing puts together just like first crack, and sometimes I got to play with it for like half an hour. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah, well, it's about the show. It's about the content. It's about the entertainment. Like I said to Cade, the sound and lighting guy, I said, crank all the lights. as much as you can, but it still looks not as lit as it could be. But that's okay. We're here to talk sports, not take pictures. And coming up, Brent Munson, the defensive coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders, will be with us live right here at the Stage Bar. And we've got Bakari Grant, a CFL great, Rough Rider, Tiger Cat, Calgary Stampeder, Grey Cup champion. BG is going to join us. That's in hour 2. Can you hit the quick switch show horn, please, Director Bryce? And let's get down to it. Couple comments from our crew. Start spreading the news. We're live on Game Plus Television right now, WQEE Radio, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg says, I watched the new Ted Lasso yesterday. It reminded me of Dupes. Yes, I'm sure at some point, Darren, you will want to talk about the latest season of Ted Lasso coming out, and we will, but now is not the time. Our poll question before we go any further today is, are you into March Madness? It's in our quick 6. Over 70% so far saying no, they're not. To be frank, call me Frank for a second, I'm going to vote no. I'm not really into it. But Darren, how would you vote on March Madness? Are you into it, yay or nay?
Yeah, I'm into it for sure. I thought it was a fun day yesterday. I watched it a little bit. I'll have it on today as well. So yeah, I'm into it. It's a fun time of year.
Hey, good for you. There's no right or wrong answer to this. Jake is watching from Airdrie, and he says, for March Madness, I'll watch it in the background, but I have friends that love it and makes it more fun to chat with them about. I guess a casual interest, yes, but I did not fill out a bracket. No, because, again, we're into the hockey. I know it's Football Friday, but this is the warm-up where we talk about the topics of the day. A club record start led the Florida Panthers past the Montreal Canadiens 9-5 Thursday night. Florida scored 7 times in the first period as the two teams combined for 10 goals, tying the NHL record for most in an opening frame. Carter Verhaeghe and Aaron Ekblad each scored twice for the Panthers, who are 4-1 in their last 5. I want to say this. This is hilarious. And now you know these guys because they've been on this show, Darren. I'm listening as I'm driving up to Cross Iron Mills Mall. It was 6-3 Habs at the time, and Doug Plagans, the radio voice of the Panthers, is saying on the air, the last time the Montreal Canadiens allowed 6 goals at a period was March 11th. The horn goes off, and Bill Lindsay goes, make it 7. They were scoring goals like crazy last night. It was a big. You saw my guy Thad made the television broadcast, cheering in the crowd. It was a big party at FLA Live, and I'm just thinking, like, I was talking to my brother last night. I said, when I go back to Florida in May, I would just dearly love for there to be Stanley Cup playoff hockey to watch, and it looks like maybe there will be. Connor McDavid had a goal and an assist to surpass the 130-point plateau as the Edmonton Oilers defeated the Dallas Stars 4-1. They're rolling. They've won 4 and 5, the Oil. Elsewhere, Colorado edged Ottawa 5-4. Boston shut out Winnipeg 3-0. Calgary beat Vegas 7-2. And Arizona edged Vancouver 3-2. What was your take from Thursday's NHL games, Moose?
Yeah, the Oilers keep rolling, but all my attention, honestly, was on that Florida game with Montreal. And Montreal made 2 goaltending changes, put Allen in, then took him out. It was a fun night, I guess, if you're a fan of all the goals, which is great. And now the Panthers are knocking at the door, right? Like, they've got a couple games in hand on the Islanders, and they're right there within striking distance. If they take advantage of those 4 points, they'll be in a playoff spot. So it's a good stretch right now if you're in South Florida.
Yeah, 10 games last night. I'm not going through all of the games. The audience is more than welcome to chime in. 902-518-3033, the number to text us here in the studio at Grey Eagle or in the YouTube chat. There are only 4 games tonight. Friday seems to be a night that the NHL just takes the foot off the gas a little bit. St. Louis is at Washington tonight. Carolina is at Toronto. Buffalo is at Philadelphia, and Columbus is at Anaheim. I feel like the Leafs, at least the last couple of weeks, it's been they'll play on one night, and then the next night all other 6 Canadian teams will play. But the Leafs are always the lone Canadian team on their any given night, and that's fine. I'll say this about the Calgary Flames. There's some life in them. 7-2. It was their first ever win in Vegas. So there's a lot of sports going on, but if the NHL is your thing and these are your teams, you're a fan of the Jets, the Flames, the Panthers, There's a lot of anxiety going on right now, but I hope you're enjoying it. By the way, before we move on to point 2, March 31st here at Grey Eagle Event Center. If you are a rock and roll fan, and I know you are, Moose, you don't want to miss the Legends Show featuring the most incredible tributes to Connie Francis, Elvis Presley, Roy Orbison, and Motown. March 31st at 8 p.m. Tickets on sale at Ticketmaster.ca right here at Grey Eagle. And April 25th, don't miss comedian, actress, producer, and podcaster Whitney Cummings live at the Grey Eagle Event Center. That's Tuesday, April 25th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.ca. A lot of our audience came here for the football. What caught my eye out of day 3 of NFL free agency is the Philadelphia Eagles and quarterback Marcus Mariota reaching an agreement on a 1-year, $5 million deal worth up to $8 million. That's a lot to pay a backup, Moose. ESPN's Adam Schefter broke the news, I guess, about 10 hours ago now. That was my biggest move from Thursday or overnight into Friday. How about you?
Yeah, it's a big one. The Eagles also, coming to terms with Darius Slay, the defensive back, when it was thought that maybe they weren't going to come to terms and he was going to be released. So that came, good news for our fans that are watching in Philadelphia and Phillies fans across North America. I thought, the Mariota thing's interesting because they've got a quarterback who is going to challenge for an MVP. I mean, he was amazing in the Super Bowl. He was great. But now you've got a backup in Mariota who has a somewhat similar skill set, can extend plays with his legs, right? Can be that dual threat option, has shown an ability to play well, obviously not the big arm and consistency that we've seen, that we expected. But now you've got, if something ever happens to your number one, you've got a number two who can step in, and you don't really have to change your game plan all that much. So I like this for a team that's trying to win a Super Bowl.
Sprinkling in some comments from our viewers, John Schmeiser writes in, he says, good morning from Kansas City. From Nelson Hackowich, our VP of Sim Events, he says, isn't the sports section of Cross Iron Mills something else? That's the great outlet mall up on the northeast corner of the city, and that's where I went. They have not only the best butter chicken pizza in the world, but the only butter chicken pizza in the world. I actually said to the gal, what's your most popular pizza here? She says, oh, the butter chicken, sir. Thank you, I'll have another. Trent in Norway writes in, he says, I can't get March Madness over here, but I found some World Baseball Classic games to watch. He said Canada needs more depth overall to get into the second round. Jack Fulton from Vulcan, Alberta writes in, he says, the Flames are back. LOL. Seriously, man, they're the broken ankles in this town at an all-time high. Arlen Bruce III, AB, the CFL great, he writes that he says, good morning, fellas. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Clearly, that's why Moose is wearing green. He says, I have the Kansas Jayhawks going to the Final Four. Well, right on cue, let's go to March Madness. I will just say XFL Week 5 opened Thursday night. Seattle beat Houston 21-14, and it looked like a real party in Seattle. What is it now? Lumen Field or Lululemon Field? We'll come back on that. But point 3, March Madness has officially begun on the tournament's opening day. Only 4 out of 32 teams lost to lower seeds, but 2 of them were big. Number 2 seed Arizona, out. Who was the other one that went down, busting millions of brackets? How closely are you following it, Moose? Arizona's 1. Who was the other? Do you know?
Arizona went down, and I'm trying to think of who you're thinking of now. Was the other top seed that went down?
I'm reading wire copy, and if you want to know what the wire copy says, it says number 2 seed Arizona and number 4 seed Arizona both went down, busting millions of brackets. I don't even know. That shows you how much I'm paying attention to this. And it says here's what you need to know going into day 2 of March Madness. Every game of the men's tournament will be aired either on CBS, TBS, TNT, or True TV and their digital platforms. Wouldn't that be something? CBS will handle the Final Four and national title game this year. NCAA streaming games via its March Madness Live option on Paramount Plus, and fans of longtime play-by-play announcer Jim Nantz should soak up every moment. It's his final NCAA tournament. In that ramble, did you find out who the number 4 seed was that went down yesterday?
No, I'm still trying to find it.
Somebody write in and tell
can't.
us.
Texas advanced.
I caught
remember
Moose.
Penn State advanced.
I caught him. Say what? Everybody's
caught
writing
me.
in Virginia. Virginia. Thank you, Landry, Ryan McCarthy, John Schmeiser. Ryland Spencer's watching in Seattle, and he says Virginia's loss was unbelievable. Just a downright stupid play by that dude. Yeah, Ryan's written in twice. Patrolman Pete says, butter chicken pizza. And I'm not going to tell you where I got it. What do they say on Spittin' Chicklets? No freebies, no free advertising. Buy advertising
No
if you
free
want us
ads.
to talk about your pizza place. Yeah. So anyways, I will say this. Moose won the bracket last year. He went in, was it just last year or 2 years ago?
2.
It was 2 years ago. He went in Enterprise Sports out of Philadelphia, and he beat all these pundits of NCAA college basketball. And to be honest, whether it's you or it's the blue-haired single lady with 9 cats that wins, there's no science to who's going to win these brackets. And nothing against you, Moose, but come on. You're no men's college basketball expert.
No, I saw the numbers this morning after yesterday, and it was, Furman that beat Virginia. I was so enthralled with Furman, I forgot who they beat in that dumb play at the end when they could have just ran out the clock. But there is 0.000003% of perfect brackets remain. Of the 20 million brackets that were filled out at ESPN, there are less than 700 perfect brackets remaining. Like, it is wild. It's so impossible to predict a perfect bracket.
Well, here, listen, I'm sitting at Grey Eagle. I'm watching the screens. You know where I'm sitting on the stage, but it's all college basketball, and that's what's led to the success of this show. We're not talking about what everybody else is. We're not going to sit here and try and say that we're college basketball experts. We're not. You didn't come for that. Point 4, the quick 6. Starter Zach Thompson allowed 5 hits and 4 earned runs over 3 innings as the Baltimore Orioles defeated the Toronto Blue Jays 7-4 Thursday night. The Jays actually opened the contest with 2 runs in the first inning, but Baltimore countered with 2 runs in the second and third before scoring 3 times in the fifth to go ahead 7-2. Toronto resumes its spring training schedule Friday, visiting the Philadelphia Phillies. Point 5, the Battle of the Prairies starts an incredible Week 16 in the NLL. There's rivalry games all weekend in the NLL, and tonight here in Calgary, I'm going the Saskatchewan Rush visiting the Roughnecks in the annual St. Patrick's Day game. What do they say? The Roughnecks say, come for the game and stay for the party. Saskatchewan played at home last week against West leading San Diego, lost 12-11 in overtime. The Roughnecks got a win on the road 16-10 in Colorado. Also tonight, those Seals, San Diego Seals, are at the Vancouver Warriors. Those are the featured games on TSN tonight, ESPN+. I'll never forget my friend Peanut Butter Pete says he doesn't watch SportsCenter anymore because he watches this show's opening 20 minutes and it covers everything SportsCenter does in 60 minutes. When we come back, all football with Moose because it is Football Friday, and whatever you people would like to talk about. We'll talk about the Week 5 in the XFL opener last night, CFL goings on, and Brent Munson coming up, the defensive coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders, will join us right here live at Grey Eagle. We're live on Game Plus Television, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and WQEE The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
It's March, it's madness! Capital GMC Buick Cadillac has gone mad with crazy low pricing throughout the store. Capital has Sierra 1500s with rates starting as low as 1.49%. Over 400 new vehicles in stock, or drive away in a GM certified pre-owned vehicle. They all come with a 150 plus point inspection and a 3-month warranty. It's March, it's madness! On now at Capital GMC Buick Cadillac, Saskatchewan's #1 GM retailer, capitalgmc.ca. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Calgary's entertainment destination. That's the place. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're live. Coming up, Brent Munson, the defensive coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders. Stamps fans and CFL fans, get your questions ready. It is a Football Friday, and let's bring in Darren Moose DuPont, which this is going to be his last segment. So make it good, Moose. We have some good comments, some very kind comments from our viewers today. And some not so kind, but Ted in Red Deer writes it. He says, hey, is it just me, or is Rod mixing in a little Kramer into his rants? Well, that wouldn't surprise me. I'm a big Seinfeld fan, but by far my favorite character on Seinfeld is Costanza's dad, Frank. Del Boca Vista. By far my favorite. So if I'm mixing a little bit of that, more of that than Kramer, I would think. Ryland in Seattle said, this is why I love, all caps, your show. So many more topics than the same stuff everyone else is talking about. On the March Madness, Nelson says, I don't even bother to try and do data science simulations for NCAA basketball because it's all over the place. And from Ryan in Saratoga, New York, he says, it really is the golden corral of sports talk, which incidentally was my slogan. I don't know that you want to put that on a T-shirt or anything, Moose, but that's what we are, a little bit of something for everybody. Who doesn't love a buffet? For the love of Pete. And regarding the NLL game tonight, Jeff, the Stamps fan, says the Roughnecks might sell out tonight. This will probably be a game where I leave at halftime. It's not about the game, particularly this game on St. Patrick's Day. I've been to it. Everybody's hammered. They're falling down in the seats. It's like every Rush game used to be. So I'll be there for about a half, and then See you later.
Well, I know you're going for a
go
half,
ahead.
but there's people who want to see you. They're already texting me, Rod, asking if you're going to the
Who dat?
Roughnecks game.
Oh,
our mutual
Rusty?
friend, Rusty. Yeah.
Yeah, he texted me too. Yep.
Oh,
He's
good.
on the television crew. So I'll stop in there and see him. Very nice of him to say that. Don, our Navy friend, regarding March Madness, he says, I tried to get a pool going with some of my friends and family for March Madness. No takers, so I didn't do one either. I promised football, because this is when people tune in, Fridays in the off-season on this show. If there is an off-season, there shouldn't be. And Kevin, the medium, has chimed in. Hello, Kevin. I almost texted you this morning because I was thinking of you, but I knew I'd see you here. Darren in Salt Lake City, Utah, Darren Workman says the Houston Roughnecks lost for the first time in franchise history last night. They're now 9-1 all-time. Game of the week in the XFL is DC at St. Louis. Rematch from 2 weeks ago. The crowd will be bigger. I got to give credit to whomever, I guess our friends that are covering the XFL itself. Even if you wanted to ignore the XFL, I don't think you can. There's stuff up in my face all the time, and shame on me. I didn't go through all the rosters of the XFL. I'm starting to look at the names. I'm like, Ben DiNucci? He's a former Dallas Cowboy. He was quarterbacking last night. There are some names, and I don't know what the official attendance was in Seattle last night, but however many were there, they were having a great time. I don't know if it was on television in Canada or not. I was watching the Flames and Golden Knights. But I now know that Houston lost for the first time ever in Seattle, 21-14. The XFL's just pushing itself into my conscience, Moose.
When are you going to get your Danny Bonaducci jersey? Now, that's your boy, right?
You remember that?
That's your boy.
How do you remember
Yeah.
Danny Bonaducci? You're not old enough to remember Danny Bonaducci.
From this show, baby, from this show. That's what the
It's good
XFL
memory.
is good for, man. You know, and you can follow Paxton Lynch, and there's a lot of characters. I think the more we move forward, I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to kind of fall into it a little bit.
It is a Football Friday, so that's perfect. The people are chiming in with their comments on this. And by the way, Ted and Redder goes on to say, I'm another guy who doesn't watch the Morning Sports Center anymore. No need to with the RP show. We talk about not only last night's games, but of course, breaking news and the upcoming games tonight. That's something that the sports channels don't do at this time of day, not in Canada. They're saying in Seattle last night, 9,231. Nelson says St. Louis is starved for football and will be the Baltimore Stallions of the XFL. Oh, man. I had a talk with a football guy this morning, and you know who he is, football media person. And he said, Rod, I see what you're doing with the NHL, and it's great. Flames and Panthers have been awesome to you, and obviously with the Dolphins coverage, and they've been putting people on. But he goes, the CFL, they still... You carry a lot of weight in the CFL. You got a voice. I'm not saying that I don't, but a lot of the things that I've been beating the drum on for years and gave up on, they just don't want to hear it. I want a CFL team in St. Louis is what I'm saying. Why can't we, forget about Halifax and put in St. Louis right now? Why not?
I mean... Oh, yeah, I guess.
I know I caught you off guard. I'm sorry with that.
No. But, you know, I'm just trying to think as I say this. I mean, why not? I mean, then you're going down the American expansion rules, and do they have to play with Canadians, and would it be one team? But why not? Why not? And especially, you know, when you look at a team closer to the border, you go down there and you kind of infiltrate them with Canada, and it becomes almost an adopted Canadian city. You know, they got to have the Canadians on the roster, and they do their thing. And, you know, maybe the fans and the people in those communities, because their NFL turned their back on St. Louis, they become big Canadian fans. And maybe for fun, their colors are red. And I know we've got a few red teams, a couple red teams with their Ottawa with red and Calgary, but could be fun. There's a lot of different plays. And if the fan base is there, why not go where the fans are?
Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in and says St. Patrick's Day is an awesome holiday, but a lousy color. Again, I'll say it. I don't hide anything. I was in a 12-step meeting this morning, and the host was in a green top hat, a green vest. It was via whatever, and he's playing the flute, and I'm like, oh, my God. I was actually wearing a Rough Riders hat, and they're like, way to wear green, Rod. And I said, this was not for St. Patrick's Day. People in recovery from addiction don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Newsflash. It's just another day. Navy Dawn says, why not? It would be a great idea. There's a little more traction to this than you think. A.J. Jakubek, the good friend of mine, the voice of the Ottawa Redblacks, he knew a guy, and I don't know who it was, but like a cajillionaire in St. Louis who, long before the XFL was even thought of, wanted to put a CFL team in St. Louis. They were talking about it. They already got the stadium. You're seeing that. They're playing in there in the XFL right now. And Darren in Utah says, good crowd in Seattle for a Thursday night. It was freezing. St. Louis could sell out this week easily, but they can't hire enough staff to work the game. I don't know anything about that. John Massey, by the way, says it's no longer the Canadian Football League if we add St. Louis, Missouri to it. It's right in the name. How old are you, John? How old are you, little one? It's patting him on the head. The 90s, again, were so unbelievably awesome. And we had 8 teams in America, John. Sit around the fire here and fill up your cup of milk. It was called the Canadian Football League, and half the leagues were in the United States of America, and it was the greatest era ever. But again, like I said to that football guy this morning, I said, I'm over it. Back in the day, the Cohan regime, I had his staff calling me going, Rod, would you stop writing about and talking about the 90s CFL? And I'm like, why? It was awesome. They're like, it was embarrassing. And I'm like, that's what you think. But it's, you know, it's like that drunk uncle nobody wants to talk about. Just leave him in the corner at family events and let's just leave him alone and not talk about him or to him. No, it's part of our history. The Birmingham Stallions are a part of the family, whether you want to admit it or not. And why can't the St. Louis whatevers be part of the Canadian Football League? It's because of thinking like that. I'd like to say I'm over. Like, we're sitting here, I'm reading the dang article by Dave Naylor where it says, we quoted it yesterday, the Scooter Sports and Entertainment Group are out of pursuing a team for Halifax. It's like one sentence in this long article on Halifax expansion. It should have been the first sentence of the story. And I know that, so let's forget about Halifax and look at St. Louis. I'd like to do that. Okay, the other thing Naylor said was there's beginning to be some exhaustion, national exhaustion on the story. Really? I was tired of it a year ago. Everybody else is just caught up. How are you feeling about that news? We didn't really get into it, Moose, yesterday.
No, we didn't. I think it's bigger news than, you're right, than just the one line, because now you don't have anybody banging the drum. You have nobody driving this forward. So until, I mean, they had announced the team. They had, you know, brought out the cheerleaders. It was happening. You had owners. You had potential stadium locations. There was a lot of things that were moving in the right direction. But when you have ownership that's not there, and let's remember, in any business, as we know, and anybody knows, cash is oxygen.
Oh.
So owners with money is the only thing that's going to keep you alive. You know, a dream is great, and you need to have that. That's the spark, you know, but you need to have money to build it, and you need owners. And so now you got to go back to the drawing board. Got to find a new ownership group that's excited about it. And I don't know how easy that's going to be for the CFL to do.
Well, from our audience, the important thing is talking about it like now. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says John doesn't remember 1993 to 1995, clearly. Ryland in Seattle says, what's in a name? The Dallas Cowboys don't play in Dallas.
How about that?
Ryland goes on to say the New York Jets and Giants play in New Jersey. Not sure the name matters much. Jack and Vulcan says USA CFL teams should be the future of the CFL. The name doesn't matter. And I officially spend half my time in America. Trust me, they don't care what the league name is. They don't care. If they put a team in the beautiful 35,000-seat Howard Schnellenberger Stadium in Boca Raton, Florida, people would show up to watch it. I guarantee you they would. I guarantee you they would. I go back to that. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a marketer's dream, I think. You know,
Yes.
let's take St. Louis. The NFL spurned you, but Canada wants you. Imagine the concessions are full of Smarties and ketchup chips and all these Canadian things, right? And you just become an adopted Canadian city. Everybody gets behind it. It becomes this U.S. versus Canada thing. I think it could be really cool, you know, to see what that city does. Clearly, they want to support football, and they're showing, you know, the country that they're going to support football, even if it's not the NFL. So I would go down the path at least.
You have no idea how mad they are about football, particularly in Florida, but just the USA in general. You think you do, but you don't know. And they would, I think they'd support it. Last one, John Massey, my frenemy, says, I'm not trying to be a troll this time. There's just enough locations in Canada to make it work. I'm older than you think. And he smiles. But again, we can't agree. Dunnigan said it on this show at Grey Cup. We should be playing in Saskatoon, in London, in Quebec City. I don't want to do that. Canada's not big enough. We're not growing in Canada. The people are in America, and they love football there. Why are we beating our heads against the wall in this country when they love football in the States and the money's there and the players too? Anyways, they've successfully got me worked up just in time to say goodbye to you, Moose, and Coach Munson will be in next. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Stay safe. All right, get your questions in CFL-wise and everything that we're talking about today, because it is a Football Friday. We're live on Game Plus Television. The defensive coordinator of the CFL's Calgary Stampeders, Brent Munson's coming up next. We're also live streaming on YouTube, iHeartRadio, and your southern home of sports and talk WQEE, The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
It's March. It's madness. Capital Ford has gone mad with crazy low pricing throughout the store. Save up to $7,000 on a brand new F-150. They have over 150 available right now. Or drive home in a new to you used vehicle. Plus, Capital Ford offers the highest guaranteed trade-in value, or they'll give you $500 cash. Get your hands on a new ride before they come to their senses. On now at Capital Ford. Visit CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
I'm Bridget Lacroix. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for $25, 3 for $60, or 10 for $100. But there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Beautiful morning here in the foothills. This is the gateway to the foothills, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. And by the way, if you are a rock and roll fan, I'll say it again, you don't want to miss the Legend Show featuring the most incredible tributes to Connie Francis, Elvis Presley, Roy Orbison, and Motown. March 31st here at Grey Eagle. Tickets are on sale right now at Ticketmaster.ca. It's a little thing we call Football Friday. Everybody looks forward to it. And a special treat this week is we have a live guest at Grey Eagle, the defensive coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders, Brent Munson, joining us here at the Stage Bar as they rattle off the daily winners, I think, Brent, of the casino goers here. How you doing, Coach? Welcome.
Good. Yourself? Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's great to have you on here, man. And it's always fun talking ball in the off season. Although, do you in today's CFL even have an off season? Truly?
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's definitely not as many hours as in season. But we've still been in the office quite a bit the last couple months, looking at players, trying to get ready for the draft and all that stuff. Yeah. That stuff's continuous throughout the off season.
I'm going to, I will turn it over this to the viewers, but I've never interviewed you before, so I have a lot of questions. I guess number one, tell the fans and me what a guy like you would be doing right now. What you're doing, because you're in town, obviously, so there must be a reason.
It varies. Right now, I've had our new D-line coach, Juwan Simpson, in town, so we've been going through a lot of our teaching him, going through our self-scout stuff. We've also been heavily looking at players, American, Canadian, for the CFL draft, the global draft. So a lot of personnel stuff, kind of helping out in that stuff with our scouting department that does a great job. And then pretty much that's it, getting ready for the combine. But a lot of it is watching players and self-scout and opponent study, trying to get ready for the upcoming season.
Well, I think now would be a good time to ask you, you heard the discussion here raging about the XFL Week 5, and we can certainly get into the expansion talk, but how closely are you watching the XFL? And is it as a fan or as a personnel guy or both?
Not as closely. I watch some of the stuff, like if it's on TV, but I haven't been like locked in on. I watch Sankey's games because I have a relationship with him, and then I watch Tremaine Washington plays for Orlando. He used to play for us also. But other than that, I haven't been paying too close attention to
it. Well, here's the thing. Craig Smith, who we refer to as our director of scouting, two-time Grey Cup winner scout, he said the same thing. He was on our show a couple weeks ago. He's not watching it that closely either. So is that because these players aren't something that would be on your radar?
Not right now. They're not. I mean, I still watch enough of. We still watch enough of it on TV, but we can get the film and study it a little bit closer. But it's not something because they're further away from coming up here.
Yeah, well, that's my point, is explain that if you can to the viewers and me. So when you say you're watching players, you're more so watching film of Canadians?
Canadians for the draft, and then college players, Americans, players that have previously played in the NFL, previously played in the USFL, XFL, stuff like that. More so focused on those guys right now.
Yeah, but it's not like you are in and out of the throes of who's winning and who's losing and what the stats are every day. You're not following it that closely.
No, definitely not. No.
Yeah, no, hey, trust me, I get it. How did you feel, because there was a time when the CFL had the whole landscape to yourselves, and now there's USFL and there's XFL. How's that changed?
It's a little bit different. Obviously, there's less players available at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, open tryouts and stuff, you expect a little bit less attendance at those. But other than that, I mean, there's still a lot of good football players out there, so there's still a lot of players you can look at.
Yeah, I wonder how many people really realize how much of these camps are going on, because I follow your social media and guys all across the league. Those camps are going on every weekend. I don't think people know, and they're so important to what you do.
Totally. Yeah, no, we were actually just in Texas last weekend. Then we'll be going after the combine. We'll be going to Florida, Orlando, Miami, and then Charlotte and Atlanta. So yeah, it's a big focus, and we actually do find quite a few players from those workouts.
Do you know the date of when you're going to be in Miami?
We will be in Miami on April 1st.
Dang, I won't be there. It'll be May. By the way, I got to get into Brent's story in a second. You obviously know Jack Fulton. He's written in and he says, I've witnessed Brent's amazing growth from the time he started with the team, outstanding knowledge and understanding of the game. And shame on me. He comes in here and I just jump right into the football stuff. I said I wanted to talk about your story, and it is a hell of a story. Maybe we got some time here. You're a Hamilton guy. How does a guy grow up in Hamilton and become the defensive coordinator of the marquee franchise, Cadillac franchise of the CFL?
It's a long story. I'll be honest, I applied everywhere in the U.S. for like a graduate assistant job, like when I was done university. I had one little stint down there, and then I ended up being a video assistant in Calgary. Ross Fulton brought me in. I actually interviewed in Hamilton, originally met like Huff and Killam and Dave and all them in Hamilton before one of their Hamilton games. Came out as a video assistant in 2009, and I just wanted to be a sponge and learn everything I could. And Craig Dickinson, Chris Jones, Huff, Dave, everyone kind of took me in under their wing. George Cortez, everyone kind of, I would just do extra stuff for them on like the non-video hours, and just, I loved every minute of it and was given an opportunity. And then stuff changed in the staff. Killam got promoted after that one season, and I just was there and worked my butt off and tried to get a coaching job, and then there was a job there. So yeah. I was able to go to linebackers, be a strength coach. Because back then, when I was in good shape, had all my strength and conditioning certificates, and I was able to kind of fit in there and then learn from Jones. And obviously movement happened, Jones left, and then I ended up going to offense, working with Dave and Huff closely, and then learned a ton on the other side of the ball. And then once that happened, then Mueller came in on defense. Mueller ended up going to offense because he's more offensive guy, and then it was a fit for me to go back to defense. And then I got to learn from Rich Stubler, and then I ended up working with Clay Brooks, which was great. We're good friends, and yeah, it just worked out to be around good people and learn a lot from everyone that's been giving me the opportunity to kind of be a sponge and kind of develop my own scheme,
your own style. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I think part of the reason why people don't want to leave this franchise as coaches is that they know you're always going to have good players.
Yeah,
right?
And that's another thing. Our scouting department does a great job, and like we all work together and kind of find players. And it's there's been lots of turnover, but we always, the guys that come in, we coach hard and we make sure that they're ready to play, and it's just kind of been continued.
What do you like
through the years?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What do you like about coaching the best?
Competition. I'm a pretty competitive person. I like to win, and I like to beat the team across from us. So
yeah,
every week it's about the competition. How can I work harder to beat them on the weekend? You know what I mean? So
that would be the number one thing. But I would think to see a guy like Alex Singleton come in here, right, and do what he did and go on to sign an $18 million contract in the NFL, and he'll always have that horse. Well, he has another horse on him right now, the Denver Bronco horse, but to be a Stampeder and just say, hey, I helped that guy along the way, must feel incredible.
I mean, I would say I didn't screw him up. I mean, he works so hard that he's an easy guy to coach, because you everything you tell him, everything you teach him, all the work he puts in the gym, and everything you do is just very impressive. So when he did that, I wasn't surprised. I was just very happy for him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Down there, so it's good, very good to see. Though I'm pretty fired up about it that he signed that contract. He deserves it. You know
I felt like everybody here was very proud of him and felt part of it. Yeah, that's great. We'll be right back with Brent Munson, the defensive coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders. Answer some of your questions. It's a Football Friday, and we're live on Game Plus Television, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and WQEE. The Key.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
It's March. It's madness. Capital Ford has gone mad with crazy low pricing throughout the store. Save up to $7,000 on a brand new F-150. They have over 150 available right now. Or drive home in a new to you used vehicle. Plus, Capital Ford offers the highest guaranteed trade-in value, or they'll give you $500 cash. Get your hands on a new ride before they come to their senses. On now at Capital Ford. Visit CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with The Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
RP Show continues on a Football Friday. Just ahead of more with Stampeders defensive coordinator Brent Monson. A sports update, the Toronto Maple Leafs are the lone Canadian NHL.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
I'm excited to get after it.
We lost the feed for a second. I apologize. That hasn't happened. That again. Right now we're
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino dancing.
It's March. It's madness. Capital Ford has gone mad with crazy low pricing throughout the store. Save up to $7,000 on a brand new F-150. They have over 150 available right now. Or drive home in a new to you used vehicle. Plus, Capital Ford offers the highest guaranteed trade-in value, or they'll give you $500 cash. Get your hands on a new ride before they come to their senses. On now at Capital Ford. Visit CapitalFordLincoln.com.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Good morning, Rod Squad.
Maybe tomorrow I'll tell you guys about the big game that I went to in San Antonio with Snoop Dogg. Remember that one, Clark? The Lakers and Spurs? Snoop Dogg and I went, Bob.
How about that?
Snoop Dogg was sitting courtside. I was up in the nosebleeds, but we were in the arena at the same time. I was there with him.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody, as we unofficially roll into hour 2 of the RP Show on a Football Friday. Thanks for sticking with us here on Game Plus TV and WQEE. We're good to go now, and we've got Calgary Stampeders defensive coordinator Brent Monson with us here, an original Hamilton guy. But if I may, are the Stampeders the only team, then, did you say, that you've ever worked for?
Yes, in the CFL.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Been a while. But
yeah.
I've loved the city, and it's a great place to be.
Yeah, so this gentleman has worked his way up from starting in the video department,
yes, sir,
to defensive coordinator. And in the break, you CFL fans are really going to love this discussion with Brent and I here. And again, we'll get to your questions because there are some that have come in. But he said all the quarterbacks have come west. As a defensive coordinator, I wouldn't think you'd like that. You got some all-stars out here.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but I'm all for it. Love the challenge. Love seeing the competition over here, so it'll be good to go against them.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, let's just break it down for a second. You mentioned Zach Collaros. You said he saves his best games for you guys?
No, I just respect him a ton. He does a good job, and he's tough to beat, and that's the goal, is beat him.
Well, we've got a lot of viewers, obviously, in your hometown of Hamilton on Game Plus television out there. Cogeco is a big cable carrier out there, yes, right? Sir. And Rogers. But with Winnipeg and Zach Collaros, you've been trying to defend this guy for a long time. And I was a guy, I said it, after he left Saskatchewan, I'd written off his career. Riders traded him to Toronto. He couldn't play there. And he comes to Winnipeg. He's a completely different player. Is he a better player post that than he was before? What is it about this guy?
I mean, they do a great job over there in Winnipeg. I mean, he's had better games against us lately. I can't really recall back then. Some of that stuff, I was on offense, and you know what I mean?
True.
We've been playing against each other for a while, but no, he's a good player, and got to stop him.
But you brought up, again, I hope I'm not saying too much, but you referred to him as Houdini in the break.
Right. He does make plays. He finds a way to make plays. So we got to find a way to stop that, and it's just what it is. And scramble to make plays, scrambles to throw the ball, and that's something. He's just had a lot of success lately doing that. So.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that you're still a little upset, if I may, on the West semifinal last year, not pulling that out against BC. That wouldn't be a shock to anybody, I wouldn't think.
Totally. I didn't feel we had our best game defensively, and we got to be better.
Okay, here come the comments. Just one more on that game in BC. It looked like it had all the trappings of a Hollywood ending with Bo Levi coming off the bench in the fourth quarter. You guys could, and he engineered a drive, but then you guys couldn't get the stop on their next drive. What happened on that last kind of dagger drive for BC that you remember?
They made some plays, and we didn't. We got to make a play on the ball, and we didn't make a play on the ball. Rourke made some good throws, and we didn't play our best football. So, I mean, there's nothing really too specific about it. We just, when the game's in that situation, we got to make a play, and we didn't make a play. So,
yeah, that's difficult, and those are the ones that sit with you all winter.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
But so with Nathan Rourke going to the NFL's Jacksonville Jaguars, I can't think that broke your heart to talk about trying to defend that kid.
No, great player. He deserves to be down there, in my opinion. He had a great comeback win against us when he played earlier in the year, too. Just a really, really good football player. Happy for him, too, to be getting the shot down there. And, yeah, maybe we'll see him again. Maybe we won't.
Well, what is it that made him so tough to defend?
Lots of different things. You could tell he kept his composure when we were up on him. You know what I mean? Like, he kept his composure very well in that game. We created a couple turnovers. We hit him a couple times. Kept his composure well. Quick release, strong arm. He made some throws late in that game. Not the playoff game, the earlier game, that are pretty impressive. We were in split safety coverage, whether it be two-man or whatever, and he put it right in the right spot and deep throw, and he needed to make those throws. If he missed one of them, he might not have won that game, but he was a clutch player that really, really turned it on us in the fourth quarter. That was pretty impressive to me.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen that type of performance before out of anyone, really.
That's why he's NFL bound, I guess. Craig Smith, who we were discussing earlier, our director of scouting, writes in.
Craig.
He says, Brent is a hell of a guy, excellent family man, worked his way up, a damn good defensive coordinator. Wish much success to Brent.
Appreciate it, Craig.
Yeah, so Smitty's chiming in. Kevin, the medium, he's a friend of mine, and he is a medium, not a psychic, but a medium. He says, Brent, he's an Airdrie. He says, what advice would you give someone who wants to get into the football industry?
In coaching, my advice would be, I mean, it's tough. My advice would be, if you can get an opportunity, whether it be for free or, which a lot of them, to be honest, especially in the U.S. now, a lot of coaches work for free earlier in their career, is just when you get that opportunity, once you have to keep trying, email whoever you can, build a network, start talking to people. But my advice is, once you get there, show up early and leave late. Be the first one in, last one out. That's pretty much what I did, and then be a yes guy. If anyone asks you to do something, doesn't matter what the task is, just do it, and do it at the best of your ability. That's my best advice in football, because those people that do that go a long way.
Mm-hmm. And would that advice go to players too?
I mean, I think so. You look at guys like Alex Singleton. I mean, he'd show up first, get his workout in, he'd come meet early, and he'd stay later and watch extra film if you needed to, and now it's paying off for him.
902-518-3033 is the number to reach us here in the studio at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, which, by the way, I noticed this. This is my slogan, not theirs. They like the Flames a lot. They love the Calgary Stampeders, Grey Eagle. I mean, you would have been here a lot over
I used to come in here, and I used to have a good relationship with Lee Atheist, who
I've heard about this guy.
He's a great guy, huge Stamp supporter. He was an awesome guy, and miss him.
He was the man, pretty much ran everything here from what I understand.
Totally. Great guy.
From Dougal Cameron regarding the CFL expansion piece, he's in Calgary. He said, Rod, I once phoned into a phone-in show in the 60s asking why there's no CFL team in the Maritimes. I think Ken Newens was the host. It only took 55 years to make that decision. Well played, CFL. Not. I'm not sure that the CFL's even moved on from the Maritimes decision. It's TSN's Dave Naylor saying maybe it's time to move on, and I don't know what it's going to take. You, again, have you been with the Stamps since, what, 09?
09.
You've been around these touchdown Atlantics. They're amazing.
We went to one, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, fantastic.
2011, we got killed by Hamilton, but it was a good,
it was a great week.
Good experience.
Jim, was Hank your quarterback then, or was he gone by then?
No, it was Hank. It was Hank. That was Hank and Kevin. We were playing against Kevin Glenn. Mm-hmm. I remember corner out to Thigpen and a double pass. It was a tough game for us.
Were you on offense then?
No, I was on defense. 2011.
I was going to say putting the ball in Marcus Thigpen's hands, never a bad idea.
Yeah.
Right? What a player he was.
Totally.
Well, as a football guy, and again, he's from Hamilton. Shout out Steeltown. How do you feel about the Maritimes idea? I mean, we all want it. How close are you following it, or have you kind of moved on?
I've been following a little bit. I'm excited about it. I mean, more jobs for coaches. I'm a big fan of more teams, so I think it'd be great for our league, and hopefully it can get done.
Well, as a Canadian guy, how about the quality of players at the U Sports level? Are they better than ever, the guys that you're getting?
I think the draft's pretty good this year. I do feel a lot more players that are really good at going to the NCAA at a younger age, like starting there, you know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of guys are going to prep schools if they're really good, and then they're going to play at NCAA. Like a couple examples, like Tavius Robinson just ran 4.66 at the NFL Combine. You know what I mean? Like they're in our draft, but he's probably going to get an NFL thing on, like opportunity. So
you got to be happy for the players.
Oh, totally. No, there's a lot more you see now that I've noticed that are playing in the NCAA than there was in the past.
Before I get to the more of the viewer questions here, what you've mentioned, and Justin Dunk was on with us yesterday. He mentioned the upcoming combine in Edmonton. It's next weekend, and how critical that is to the lifeblood of the franchises. I look at it from the players, but from your perspective, this is going to make or break your team.
Well, yeah, you study film, and the combine's so important because you study all this film on the players and you do your research, but then you get to actually see them in person and interview them and kind of find out who they are. You know what I mean? You can watch film and say this and that, but then you get all the testing numbers on them. Just the information you get from the combine is huge. So it's big, and we're excited to next week go and look at the new group of players coming out.
So here we go, as promised. Troy in Toronto says, I would love a team in Atlantic Canada. Great people and passionate sports fans. They would support a CFL team for sure. Right. So what's the holdup? All of that's true. I'm like, can we just get it done? Brent, we just met today, but I'm not big on talking. I'm big on doing.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Ted in Red Deer says, hey, Brent, which quarterback gives a defense the most trouble? Quick release or strong arm?
I feel like quick release is more difficult for me than just a strong arm. Is it an accurate strong arm, or is it you know what I mean? So
good point.
It all depends.
Monty in Saskatoon says, Brent, are you ready for the upcoming CFL season and playing Saskatchewan? He's in Saskatoon.
Can't wait.
Jeff in Winnipeg says the Stampeders coaching tree continues to be a factory. We really should talk about that. What is it that they got going on here? It starts with Huff? Or
Huff Dave. I mean, there's been good people, but like Killam does a great job. He's been around forever. You know, I mean, I've learned from him too. I learn from everybody. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're up top or not. I mean, it's just good people that have been working hard consistently. And it started with Huff, but Dave does a great job, and I learned from him too. And learned from Jones, learned from Stubes. You know what I mean? Learned from Killam. Like, just consistently good relationships. And
I feel like you might be a little spoiled having only worked for the Calgary Stampeders. Do you realize that?
Yeah, probably a little bit, but we got to win a playoff games this year. So,
ooh, hey, listen, I'm going into what'll now be my second CFL season here, and I got the sense going into last year that the expectations in this town are high. They were high going into last year. making the playoffs just isn't enough for people here. We want to host a game, right? We want to finish first. Do you sense that from the fans? Do you hear it?
I feel like the expectations.
Or it's your own. It's your own anyways.
I feel like the expectations that every year. I don't feel like it's changed that much. That's always been the expectation in my mind. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, well,
I'm not happy unless we're playing in the Grey Cup and winning the Grey Cup.
When's the last time? 2018?
2018.
Probably doesn't feel good when people come into your house and have your locker room either,
No,
like 2019.
Definitely not.
Yeah, well, and again, I want to take the viewers in, not a peek behind the curtain per se, but just with the way the Calgary Stampeders are. It was last fall, the rumors came out that John Huffnagel, CFL legend, is going to step aside as general manager, and then he confirmed it at Grey Cup. There was no panic, within the organization. It was just, Huff's not going to leave this situation, this team in the lurch, right? Everything's always looked after.
Yes, sir.
And that comes from him?
Yeah, I mean, and Dave's doing a great job, and everyone works cohesively, and not much has changed.
Yeah. Well, you understand that's rare.
Yeah.
That's my point. So. Not every team runs like a Swiss watch like that. Yeah. So you had talked about some of the other quarterbacks in the league and defending them. Trevor Harris is now coming into your division, and there's a lot of pressure on him, obviously, in Saskatchewan. Could you talk about, is it a massive change in style from Cody Fajardo to him?
Yes.
How so?
He's not going to run around as much. He's not going to throw as many deep balls. More quick game stuff. I mean, lots of different things. They're different. You know what I mean? So they're different players.
Yeah. Well, what else you got going on, Brent?
To be honest, just trying to spend as much time with my kids as I can until season gets going. We're traveling a little bit, obviously the combine, and then we'll go out do those workouts. Other than that, draft meetings, get ready for season. So
I feel
season's coming up quick. I'll be visiting Hamilton around Easter time to see my parents and stuff like that, but that's about it.
One kind of last small break before rolling. Well, I want to say this: 25% of our audience on television is in America. 100% of our radio audience is in America, listening on WQEE, The Key. Can you just talk about the U.S. camps? Did you say you're going to Miami?
Yes.
You are?
Yes, sir, yeah.
So you're going to be in South Florida. Well, you guys are all over the United States. Every team is. Talk about the importance of those camps for the team and what opportunity it represents for a player that would like to participate.
Oh, it's huge for the team. I mean, we found some players last weekend, and I mean, it's for the players down there. I mean, it's a great opportunity to get yourself in front of us. We're there. People on our staff there, full personnel departments there, and then coordinators or coaches. So normally we send 4 guys down, and we're right there in person, timing them, putting a clock on them, and being able to look at them and run drills and run one-on-ones. And to me, it's a great opportunity for players because we actually spend the time to take the time to look at them. You know what I mean? It's if there's not, say, too many players there, you get a pretty close look. You know what I mean? So I do think it's a valuable tool for both sides.
How long would the day be for the players?
Not too long. I mean, it's really a 10, register around 9, finish up around 1. You know what I mean? 9, 10 to 1 type deal workout. It doesn't take that long. You know what I mean? It's a half a day.
Well, for the U.S. audience, I would say go to every CFL team's website and check out the list of where the camps are and sign up. There's a fee, right, at the start?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a fee.
Which there has to be, or you get every Tom,
it pays
Dick,
for the travel.
Yeah,
pays for the travel.
Right, but it's also, I think it's a tremendous marketing tool for the Canadian Football League to get your name out there. Because listen, I've been at a lot of these camps, and I don't think people understand. They would be fun to just come watch as a fan. Like, the families are all there.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
Explain that.
Yeah, no, they're good events. I've enjoyed going to them for a while. I mean, it's a good tool to recruit, and been a fan of it for a while.
Yeah. Well, I would assume you have probably a more deep experience with it than I do, but I had mums coming up to me because they thought I was a coach. And they're like, my son did this, this, and this, and here's my son's film, and here's my business card. They're just,
oh no.
To say desperate would be an understatement.
Yeah. Everyone's looking for an opportunity, and that's what it is. It's an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing, I mean, there must be some funny stories that you've had. A lot of times local high school coaches will come, football coaches, to just watch, right? And a lot of former NFLers will come and and try out because they don't want to give up on the dream. And I had a couple coaches hang their head over the fence one day, and again, they thought that I don't know what they thought I was. They didn't realize I was just a radio guy. But they said, Jones was wearing them into the ground, Brent, into the ground. And these coaches said, I'm talking, it was like a 6-7 hour session in the Florida heat.
Okay.
And they said, oh, we get it. The last 2 guys left standing make the team? Is that the deal?
That's not how we do it.
How do you guys do it, Dan?
It's more just testing some individual work and then get into the competition part of it. But yeah, it's not a... We'll see a little bit, like through the drills and stuff, you're still going to be put to work, but it's not a conditioning deal.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to let you go, Brent, because I know you got a busy day. I'll just say this. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Calgary Stampeders defensive tackle Hauser, defensive tackle Wagan, Rose, Vaughters, Cameron Judge. I mean, we could talk about some of your players. These guys are a bunch of beasts.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have a good defense this year.
Yeah, we're excited. Competition in camp is going to be really good.
Actually, I was talking to your radio guy. He was on the show the other day, Mark Steven, and we were talking about Cameron Judge, who just got engaged the other day. You probably
called him
saw
right
it.
away.
Yeah, great guy.
Great guy.
Man, what does he mean? Los Angeles kid, designated non-import. What's he meant to your defense?
He's what we do. Run to the ball, make plays. He did a great job last year fitting in, and expecting a lot from him this year, and he's just been solid for us all the way around. So
always
puts
delivers.
in the work, always delivers.
Doesn't cheat you.
Nope.
Yeah. And Craig Smith says free agent camps are wonderful. Find that gem. Combine is one of my favorite times of the year. I'm sure the same goes for you.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, thanks for coming down.
Appreciate
I hope you had
having
fun.
me on.
Hope you had
That was
fun.
awesome. Thank you very
much.
much.
We'll do it again. Defensive coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders, Brent Monson, joining us here at Grey Eagle. The Moose joins us in next as we continue a Football Friday with the football talk and maybe take a look at tonight's games on the schedule. Bakari Grant coming up as well. Our good friend BG on video. We'll be right back to Calgary's entertainment destination in a moment. The Grey Eagle Resort and Casino on Game Plus Television, YouTube, and WQEE, The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
You Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. It's March, it's madness! Capital GMC Buick Cadillac has gone mad with crazy low pricing throughout the store. Capital has Sierra 1500s with rates starting as low as 1.49%. Over 400 new vehicles in stock, or drive away in a GM certified pre-owned vehicle. They all come with a 150 plus point inspection and a 3-month warranty. It's March, it's madness! On now at Capital GMC Buick Cadillac, Saskatchewan's #1 GM retailer, capitalgmc.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
We're back live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. There's a good look at it. The gateway to the foothills. By the way, don't miss comedian, actress, producer, and podcaster Whitney Cummings live at the Grey Eagle Event Center on Tuesday, April 25th. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.ca. For the entire entertainment lineup all the way through this spring, summer, and fall, go to GreyEagleResortandCasino.ca. The lineup's there, and you can also purchase your tickets. Darren, the Moose. Darren the Moose DuPont joins us. We got staff here watching. They love that. They love that. Hey, Moose, thanks for jumping back in. You didn't go too far from your setup there, so I appreciate it on this Football Friday. What's popping for you on this Friday, man? What's going on?
I got you. No, things are good, man. You know, the NCAA tournament's kicking off again. I think they've already tipped off. I haven't watched any of it yet. I didn't quite get that far yet. But that's a big one as we head into the weekend. Obviously, the NHL playoffs, and yeah, we'll see where things keep moving.
A note for producer Clark. Tell me, please, what the YouTube vote is, because I never put it on Twitter. God knows I had enough to do here today. I did not tweet the poll, but it is on YouTube for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Are you into March Madness? The last I saw, it was over 70% saying no, they're not. What are they saying now? 67% saying no. That's not bad. 33% saying they're into it. And define being into it. I'm not in a bracket. But I go back here and read the Wire copy. On March Madness's opening day, only 4 out of 32 teams lost to lower seeds, but Arizona and Virginia fell. Today, Canadian star Zach Edey leads the top-seeded Purdue Boilermakers into their opening game against the 16th-seeded Fairleigh Dickinson Knights. And I'll be honest, I'm only slightly more knowledgeable than I was a year ago. I did not attend one NCAA men's basketball game and only watched a little bit of it on television. I mean, honestly, even the most ardent expert, Dickie V, couldn't win a bracket, I wouldn't think, Darren. Like, I guess that's some of the fun of it, isn't it?
That is some of the fun of it. I mean, you get a pretty good idea, you know, who's good, who's not. You don't have to watch a ton of NCAA basketball. I mean, I've watched a little bit throughout the year, like maybe, 2 or 3 games. But then you watch a little bit on the championship weekend, which was just, last weekend, and you get a pretty good idea there. But, yeah, you're right. Like, the upsets happen. They're all good teams to be in the tournament. Anything can happen. And so it is very, very hard to predict.
Landry. And listen, I want to do viewer takeover the rest of the way. right up until Bakari Grant joins us next segment, the Canadian Football League great. I love BG, by the way. But let's see what the viewers got to say. Landry says, this is the best time of year. NHL in playoff mode, March Madness, and baseball starting up. Right? That's what I say. But everybody says it's fall. And I think, Moose, you're one of the guys that says fall is the best sports time of the year. And again, there's no right or wrong answer. But to me, this is the best time. You?
Yeah. I probably think fall's the best when you get the NHL starting again. NFL starting, CFL's in full swing, baseball games matter. But also, you know, then you come back to the first round of the NHL playoffs is some of the best entertainment there is in sports, period. So, you know, it just tells you there's a lot of great opportunities for sports fans throughout the year.
Yes, that's why we love it. Our director of scouting, Craig Smith, says, my bracket is buggered up already. I think more than anything, if you can just sit back and watch and enjoy and don't try and be an expert on everything, because clearly I don't. I went back and retired to my room here at Grey Eagle yesterday and just turned it on. I don't even remember the teams. To sit and try and talk about who's going to win. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, says both early games are tied at 34 at the half. Thank you. I have no idea who's playing. Darren in Utah says March Madness is all-inclusive. NCAA football has maybe 3 teams that have a chance to win a championship, and it's getting boring. Well, swinging it back to Football Friday, you gotta what do you want? Like that whole football, FBS, BCS, NCAA, I'm just trying to now get a handle on it. It's beyond trying to drink from a fire hose. Here on this show, the Golden Corral of sports, we have a little something for everybody. You got to decide, what do you really want? Why do we got to be so analytical and more than anything, so critical? Because when I look at the CFL with 9 teams, that's way, 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 way too small. It just is. And we do talk football on Fridays, but it's tough for fantasy. You know, everybody's trying to appeal to the younger generation, and with only 9 teams, that's difficult. The gentleman, Darren, is a clear football fan in Utah, Moose, but is it getting boring, college football? Because I'm seeing 100,000 in Knoxville, Tennessee, over 100,000 in Michigan. Now they got a good team, and they do it the Horseshoe in Columbus. But I don't see people backing off in America from college football, even though their team doesn't have a chance to win the national championship, right?
That's the idea. When you're in that college football mindset, you're in those markets, yeah, it's not necessarily about national championships. It's about conference titles. It's about winning rivalry games. It's about, you know, getting to a bowl game and winning a bowl game. It's about those things.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's going the other way, because now you're seeing name, image, likeness. NCAA is becoming more like pro than ever before. So now USC's back on the map. You know, Alabama, Michigan, and Ohio State are continuing to be really good, and Georgia, obviously. You're getting more teams, and now we're talking about a 12-team playoff coming in. So it's going the opposite way of being boring. You're getting more markets involved, more TV markets, more opportunities for dollars. It's getting incredibly exciting.
I guess this is why, you know, it's his opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's right. But I don't see it boring at all. Brent Monston and I were discussing this earlier about my life, my career, his. And I said, at my age, I'm actually really enjoying meeting new people like him, learning new leagues, learning new sports. There ain't nothing boring about my life at all. You know what's boring? Same old, same old. You know, that sucks. But not for everybody. Landry says, exactly, Moose. Ryan in New York State says NCAA spring games start very soon. Even the spring games at certain universities get a lot of people attending. That is my point. Well, hey, Randy in Winnipeg, Hey, it's picking up. The discussion's picking up. See, it didn't get boring. Randy in Winnipeg says, I will watch Purdue and Canadian Zach Edey. This is the one thing that I noticed, the little bit about watching sports in America. And I used to think I had a bit of a clue about sports in America until I spent half my time there. We didn't have a clue. Sports is up in your face 24/7. I couldn't get away from men's basketball if I tried because it's on television every night. There's 18 all sports channels. They got to air something. So I knew that Purdue was at least going to be good. I mean, if I had to probably go to Bet Regal right now and drop some change, it would be on Purdue, which I think they have as their third or fourth favorite to win the whole thing. As a matter of fact, I might actually do that because they don't have, Alabama's the favorite, right? And then Houston.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it to a degree, but a little mini rant here, and if people think it's Seinfeld or Kramer or Costanza's dad, that's fine. You want a piece of me? Jeff in Winnipeg says, I love NCAA football. Actually, it's ahead of the NFL and CFL on my list. I was actually a little angry with what was coming out of Justin Dunk's mouth yesterday. Nothing against Dunk on this show, but he's saying now the CFL powers that be are standing back going, maybe we should be on more networks. Maybe we should have more exposure. And I'm like, on the very day that it came out that Gary Drummond's group, the Schooners Sports Entertainment Group's no longer pursuing a 10th franchise for the CFL, I'm like, I've only been saying this for ages and was in a lot of ways exiled by people in the CFL that didn't want to hear what I'm. Don't come out now and say it's right. And I get the sense that that's where they're at in the CFL. Maybe we should expose ourselves a little more and not just stay in bed with TSN. I quit.
How about that?
I can't.
I mean, at least they're thinking about it. Yeah, but at least they're thinking about it now. I mean, everybody, and the CFL is the same to a fault, will hang on to the same way of thinking and the same way of doing things until way past the time that they should. Happens all the time. And then eventually, when it's been beaten down and they're really at zero, then they'll make the decision to make a change, right? It's not a lot of times people are willing to be forward thinking and jump before they absolutely need to.
Yeah, but I've been making a career of forward thinking and looking ahead and stuff, and it's all worked. So now they are. And it's funny because I was with a team some years ago and we hired this big splashy marketing guy. Ooh, he came from Nokia. Looking back, what the hell's Nokia ever done? Are they still in business? Who cares he was with Nokia? You know what I mean?
Right. How about that?
Yeah.
What have they ever done? This guy was the top marketing guy for Kodak and Blockbuster. Let's hire him.
Done deal.
I guess it would depend when.
No, it wasn't in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
I don't really like that guy. I hope he's watching right now. Darren in Utah, we got to allow him to say his piece, right? He said college football.
Yeah.
And the CFP is getting boring. He says there's too much tradition to just give it up. But if you're not Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, you really don't stand a chance. I'm a Utah fan. We have gone to the Rose Bowl 2 years running. Nice, but ... Come on. You're not saying my team doesn't have a chance to win it all, so I'm not going to follow it anymore? What if you were a fan of the Arizona Coyotes? Mind you, they don't have any fans. Maybe that's a bad example, but you know what I mean. It's not, if you're only a fan to see if they win it all, you gotta be a fan all the time. Do you not, Moose?
Yeah. Oh, for sure of your team, but that's a great example of where we are in sports, Rod. Like, we only want the best. So for a fan of Utah or USC or whatever, if my team's not a national championship contender, not that interested. That's why USC ever since they were winning with Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush. Since then, when they've been bad, they haven't filled the stadium. They haven't done these things in a big market like that. That's why people have the inferiority complex about the CFL versus the NFL. If it's not the NFL, we're not interested. That's why the AHL doesn't have the same number of viewers. If it's not the NHL, I don't care. And that's a great lesson for like smaller leagues. If you're not number one, you're not first, you're last now.
Landry says football is king in the U.S. NFL and college football rule all. Right? But be damned if we would expand there as the CFL. Nope. Nope. We're the Canadian League, damn it. And we're going to sink or swim that way. Monty writes that he says, Rod, where is your green? It's my underwear, Monty. You want to see it?
How about that? Bob's your uncle.
Ted in Red Deer says, hey, Rod, you're rolling. It's great. Now it's time for a Roy Shivers story. Nah, I don't think you want that. You want a Roy Shivers story when I'm in a good mood. Oh. Don't. All the stories that come to mind about Roy Shivers, I can't tell right now. Give me a little notice. Roy Shivers. Although when I think of this, you know, it's interesting. Was Shiv going into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame? He's not talking to me anyways, but if I'd had the chance to ask him, I would say, hey, Shiv, what cap you wearing into the Hall of Fame? Because, you know, in Cooperstown in baseball, it's a big deal. What cap are you wearing into the Hall of Fame? Like, you know how big of a Gary Carter fan I am. When he went into the Hall of Fame, he was wearing a Mets hat. And I'm like, what? You made your name as an Expo. I wonder what Shiv would wear. He probably wouldn't wear a Saskatchewan hat because we fired his ass. Oh, but we gave him his first job as a general manager.
Interesting.
So, yeah. It's interesting how people, that's what I want. I want the viewers to steer the discussion here because that's what makes it so much fun. Anyways, that was an end to it all, Moose. I can handle overtime on my own. Unless you want to come back, I'll leave that up to you. But if not, I'll bid you adieu and say have a safe St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, great. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
All right. And the great BG, Bakari Grant, Grey Cup champion, joins us next. I got a lot of time for this guy. He'll be with us right after this timeout. We are live from Grey Eagle Resort. Jason in Red Deer says, why can't you tell those stories, Rod? Your name is on the show. You can do whatever the hell you want. Yeah, but then I have to live with it after, Jason. Nice try. We're like on the school, the playground. Do it. Do it. I was the idiot that would always do it. Not anymore. And we are live on YouTube, iHeartRadio, and your southern home of sports and talk, WQEE, The Key.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me and Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
It's March, it's madness! Capital GMC Buick Cadillac has gone mad with crazy low pricing throughout the store. Capital has Sierra 1500s with rates starting as low as 1.49%. Over 400 new vehicles in stock, or drive away in a GM certified pre-owned vehicle. They all come with a 150-plus point inspection and a 3-month warranty. It's March, it's madness! On now at Capital GMC Buick Cadillac, Saskatchewan's #1 GM retailer, capitalgmc.ca. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Big CFL fans here, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. That's where we're broadcasting live from. It's our spring residency, and we continue on this Football Friday. And glad to have you aboard. See me sporting my CFL PA shirt, by the way, a gift from the guys, and I appreciate that. We're pro player here. Bakari Grant was undrafted in the NFL, signed with the San Francisco 49ers in 2010, then went on to a CFL career with the Hamilton Tiger Cats for 5 seasons, Calgary Stampeders in 2016, Saskatchewan Roughriders, where I got to know him in 2017, and then won a Grey Cup with those Calgary Stampeders again in 2018, a late season addition, a CFL All-Star, and we're bringing him in. BG, what's going on? I didn't recognize you with that clean shave, man. How are you?
Good. I mean, the record shows I got a different hairstyle just about every year, so I had to keep it flowing with something different here.
Yeah, good for you. It's been far too long. What's going on with you? Where are you? What's up? It's been a couple years. Give us an update.
Yeah, it has. Kind of transitioning into life after football down here in the Bay Area, so came back home, California kid, as everybody knows. Got back to this good weather and started a few businesses with the family. Just life after football. You know, things keep moving, even though you think football's going to last forever.
How's life after football for you?
It's amazing. I mean, I joke about it now and say if I found business before football, I would have never had a football career. But I found something, passion, purpose for myself. Fortunately, I have 3 brothers and a sister and have gone into business with them, and things have been rolling and loving life. Kids are getting big.
Well, it hasn't always been that way, and producer Clark said that you'd like to come on and talk a little bit about mental health for players, and I'm interested. I don't know if you, I would hope you know I'm a certified mental health coach, recovery, addiction recovery, mental health issues, so it's a topic very near to my heart. But when somebody wants to talk about it, that could mean a lot of things. What does it mean to you?
I think the biggest thing for me is health after football in general. And I think now the conversation is heavily around mental health. Fortunately, being part of the NFLPA alumni, they did a mental health first aid course that I was able to participate in, and I think it was one of the best things that I could have done because it does give you some tools to deal with things that are 100% a part of the transition from, anything you do for a lifetime. And for me, almost a decade as a career football player, I think when you do anything for that amount of time, you start associating that with who you are as a person. And when you have to transition and that's quote unquote taken away or you move on, there is a period of trying to figure out who you are and what your purpose is and why we're all here. And I think, with the conversation around CTE and mental health, depression, things like that, it's important to understand what you're going through. I recently had an experience that I'll share later, maybe, that made me look back and say, when we're not having these conversations, Rod, then a lot of us feel like we're alone going through these things. And I think that's important to make sure that, we speak up when we're feeling certain ways about things. Again, like I said, my kids are getting older now. I have an 11-year-old, 8-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And one of the most important things I teach them is it's always okay to talk about it. If you're feeling some way, it's okay to talk about it. It doesn't mean you're right, wrong, or indifferent, but it's okay to talk. So I've been encouraged to now speak out to some of these mental health issues that people have in the past kind of swept under the rug. So I absolutely want to use my platform and take every opportunity to talk about mental health and health after sport in general.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to bring you back sometime in a longer segment. And we got time here, but I remember those little kids running around the stadium. They're so cute. I assume they still are, BG. But I was just reading a piece this morning in my other career as a recovery coach, and the worst thing you can say to somebody when they're struggling is snap out of it. It's the worst thing you can say, A. And B, this was said to me, well, men don't talk about these things. No, they don't. That's not right. Well, we'll continue to suffer then. That's your choice, but then that's a choice that you're making if you don't want to talk about it. Give me an example of a tool or two that you learned, BG. We got about 3 minutes in this program that you went through.
No problem. Again, so this kind of subject has been in the back of my mind. So when I stopped playing in 2017 for a stint, I started a nonprofit called OHM, Our Health Matters, which was basically focused around mental health of post-collision sport athletes. And now I'm really kind of diving in and figuring out what the purpose is for that nonprofit. But some of the things I learned, basically, like you said, listen. When people speak up about things, or even when they joke about things, sometimes that's just a little sliver into what's going on in their lives. And having an open ear and, letting people know you're here to listen is extremely important. Whether it's, hey, I'm just here to listen. Anytime you want to talk, hey, give me a shout. That's big. Or to say, hey, if you're really going through some stuff, here's some numbers, or here's some folks that I think you should get in touch with, because a lot of guys prefer to talk to people that they don't necessarily know, so they don't feel that sense of vulnerability. Because again, as men, we're taught it's a weakness to be vulnerable. So Jack Fulton out of Calgary actually is an amazing guy who I reached out to recently when I heard a previous player of the CFL was going through some mental health stuff. So Jack's been an amazing resource for me. And now we're talking about creating some form of group with former CFL players. I don't know if everybody knows, but there's no cohesive PA or alumni association for the CFL. So to get guys who are going through some of these transitions, who have been through these transitions, and there's a ton of guys who are doing really well after football, and can honestly be a shoulder to lean on, or ear to listen. So we're trying to get a group together just to show that we do have a band of brothers, fraternity, so to speak, that is there, who understands, who's going through those same things, and let folks know we're here.
Life Choice Dynamics is the group you're talking about with my dear friend Jack Fulton. And listen, it's one of the few programs in the Canadian Football League that most teams don't have it. And this is a very unheralded football town. I didn't realize that. They don't get the credit for what they got going on here in and around the Calgary Stampeders, and I'd like to change that. Well, BG Cali Kid, we just scratched the surface here. Can we do this again soon, like within the next, before I leave Grey Eagle in the next couple months, and we'll talk about your career, because that's pretty cool. Some stories there too, right?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I'm always here to talk. Again, I think it's an important topic, post-football, health in general. I have a couple of guys that I've reached out to over the past few years that have gone through some physical and mental stuff. So I think it's an important topic, as well as to reflect on the good times, so to speak. I mean, it's almost like this veil everyone sees during the career, but as soon as it ends, it's like, oh, whatever happened with that guy? So I've, dabbled a little bit and shown some interest into reaching out to guys post football and doing some interviews on what guys are up to, and I think people will be interested. So maybe we'll do a little bit of that too.
Yeah, sure. They forget about you. By and large, they forget about you, and that's part of what guys got to deal with, right? Yep. But the next time you come on, we're going to talk about that game with the Riders where you pulled the Leon Lett. Remember, you got. I don't want to leave the interview this way, but like at the 1 yard line, you got stripped, and we're like, that's not BG.
Hey, great story about that too. A great story that I didn't want to use at the time or tell at the time, but a great life lesson. But I think there's a deeper story that people need to hear about that. So it's pretty funny.
So, well, okay, keep that in your mind. We'll talk about that next time in the next couple weeks if you're cool. Have a great weekend, Bakari. Great seeing you, man.
Appreciate you having me on. It's good seeing you again, Rob.
Good seeing you again. Grey Cup champion Bakari Grant joining us from the Bay Area. We got overtime coming up next. We'll take a look at a sports update and whatever you'd like to talk about next as we wind up the week at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino after this time out on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, iHeartRadio, and your southern home of sports and talk, WQEE The Key.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
It's March. It's madness. Capital Ford has gone mad with crazy low pricing throughout the store. Save up to $7,000 on a brand new F-150. They have over 150 available right now. Or drive home in a new to you used vehicle. Plus, Capital Ford offers the highest guaranteed trade-in value, or they'll give you $500 cash. Get your hands on a new ride before they come to their senses. On now at Capital Ford. Visit CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for $25, 3 for $60, or 10 for $100. But there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
One more time, live from that place, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. We're right in your gateway to the foothills. If you're booking your summer getaway or even thinking where you should go, get on it, the Grey Eagle. It's so beautiful out here in southern Alberta, and always so much to do. Now is the time to get a hold of me. Do we have the moose or do we not? Let me guess. We do? No! Well, I said, hey, don't bother coming back. I said, have a safe St. Patrick. So it's just me and the audience here. I think I can handle that. I've done this a time or two. But if you're watching right now on Game Plus television, all across all 10 provinces, 31 states, you can get at me right now. 902-518-3033. Text in whatever you want. And for those watching on the live YouTube strain, you can write in there too. And, you know, on this Football Friday, it's been fun kicking this around. We did get more into the XFL than I thought that we would. Week 5 kicked off last night, over 9,000 at Lumen Field in freezing Seattle, we're told by people that were there. Wrote in earlier, the Seattle Sea Dragons handed the Houston Roughnecks their first ever loss in franchise history, 21-14. And then on Saturday, it's DC at St. Louis. Pro football returns to St. Louis, and they say they're going to probably fill the former Trans World Dome, now I believe it's called Edwin Jones Stadium in St. Louis. And my Orlando Guardians, still winless. Fire the coach. I don't even know who the coach is, but fire him. Isn't that, am I doing this right? Isn't that what fans do? Yeah.
Hell yes.
Orlando at Vegas. And then and that's Saturday's doubleheader, and then Sunday it's Arlington at San Antonio. The Battle of Texas in the XFL. But what I was saying earlier is, why can we not have a CFL team in St. Louis? Forget about the XFL. I don't even know who to believe anymore, because I talk to my football guys and they say the league's going broke and it's going to be broke and it's not going to last. Yet the crowds are growing. They're on major network television in the United States, and people are talking about the league. So is that just sour grapes? Is that the competition that the CFL people don't like? I don't know. I just watch it on television and enjoy it. I think the CFL probably would wish that it gets the kind of publicity and hype that the XFL is getting right now. So the reason I'm on this preamble is Slurp writes in. His name is Slurp, Clark.
How about that?
He says, if there was room for more football in the United States, they would have already been in place. They tried and failed each and every time since the 70s. It's not like they've never tried. What are you saying? If that was the case, they would have never put the Ottawa Red Blacks in there. The Ottawa Rough Riders folded. The Ottawa Renegades folded. It doesn't work there. All of a sudden, now they sell out every game in Ottawa. I'm sorry, but I don't like your attitude. It's never worked before. Why try? Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Bakari Grant is one of the unsung heroes of the 2018 Grey Cup champion Calgary Stampeders. Stamps lost every single U.S. receiver to injury. In late editions, Bakari Grant and Chris Matthews were key. Yes, they went on to win the championship, and I was so happy for my guy BG that they won because that was his first championship. Ryan in Saratoga, New York says, have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy whichever sport you watch, which reminds me, what's the Firewolves doing tonight, Ryan? I was thinking of you. The Albany Firewolves acquiring one of my favorite Saskatchewan Rush players, Marshall Powless, this week in a big NLL trade. People here in Calgary are going to be in this major quandary tonight because the Saskatchewan Rush are at the Calgary Roughnecks to kick off rivalry weekend in the NLL. The game's going to be on TSN, and everybody's got to wear green because it's St. Patrick's Day, and that's a Saskatchewan color. This lady is like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to be at the Grey Eagle gambling. Put it all on red. Oh, thank you, Jennifer from the Four Seasons, for the reminder. She says, excited for tonight's sold-out Pats versus Warriors game, and I'm going to Moose Jaw tomorrow to watch my Pats. Connor Bedard and the Regina Pats. Tonight sold out in Regina. Saturday sold out in the Jaw. It was in my commentary yesterday that runs on Saskatchewan radio. If you don't pay attention to junior hockey all year, now's the time. Because if you don't, you're missing out on the best time. The games are sold out. Moose Jaw at Regina tonight. PA at Brandon. Medicine Hat at Edmonton. Calgary at Lethbridge. Swift Current at Red Deer. And out west, Kelowna at Kamloops. Victoria at PG. Portland at Seattle. Tri-City at Spokane. Everett at Vancouver. We love the league. And as I said, I'll be at NLL tonight. In Vancouver, the Vancouver Warriors NLL team's home to the San Diego Seals. NBA tonight, the Atlanta Hawks. Here come the Hawks. Home to Golden State. Going to have our way with the Warriors tonight. Wonderful sports weekend, and we haven't even... I think we can get along fine without talking about March Madness because everybody else is. And I haven't watched it all year, so why would I pretend that I care now? But I might throw some change down on Purdue winning it all because I did follow it enough to know that they're probably the best team. Thank you to Brent Monson, Bakari Grant, producer Clark, director Bryce, our entire crew, mostly though you, the audience, and the Grey Eagle, because without you, there would be no us. Have a safe St. Paddy's, and we'll see you on Monday right here, 12 Eastern, Game Plus, and the Key.
Who has more fun than us?